think about your best friend, what do you think about when you think of this person? Do you smile kind of sheepishly to yourself when you think of inside jokes that the two of you share that nobody else would understand or laugh at? Do you smile fondly when you think of warm summer nights where you shared a glass of wine and secrets long into the evening when you know that you probably should have called it a night hours ago? Does your heart clench a little bit when you think of the distance between you, maybe due to work or family, maybe across the country or even across the world, and you can't see each other as much as you'd like? Do you appreciate how this person always has your back no matter what? And even if you don't always agree, you know this person is always going to be in your corner and you're always going to be in her corner as well. What if your friend gained a few pounds? Would you tell her she's fat? What if she got a different haircut that you weren't fond of? Would you tell her that she's ugly or that she looks silly? What if she missed a lunch date or misplaced her keys? Would you call her a loser? Of course not. So why do we do that to ourselves? Hi, my name is K.A Bloch, and I am the award winning poet and author of 4 books that consist of poetry and prose. My channel is called The Practical Poet, and each week on that channel, I feature a different poetry reading from one of my 4 books, or maybe even some new material. And I give a little bit of the backstory, how the inspiration, how the poem came to be, sometimes just my random thoughts. And then I get into the video poetry reading. I also have a blog of the same name at thepracticalpoet.com where you can find written copies of the poems that I've posted so far, along with links to all of my books. So back to this best friend, and I know some of us have best friends that are males. One of my best friends is a male, but I'm going to go ahead and refer to the female reference here just for simplicity's sake, but know that this could apply to, a man as well. If a man happens to be your best friend, or if you are a man watching this and, your best guy friend, if you walked into a room and you heard your best friend talking to themselves like that, if you saw them looking in the mirror saying, oh my gosh, you're such a loser, or you're so ugly, or you're so fat, or you see them kind of grabbing the fat rolls like we all do and squeezing and saying, oh my God, look at all the weight that you've gained and you can't do anything right and you're a loser. Would we just tolerate that? Would we just walk away? Of course we wouldn't. We would tell them to probably shut up. We'd say, be quiet. You are wrong. You are none of these things. But yet we do that to ourselves all the time. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, oh my God, you look terrible today. Or what the heck's going on with your hair? Or, your eyes are bloodshot, or your skin is broken out, or your teeth are yellow, or all of these self criticisms that we do. We do it to ourselves every day. I tell myself, oh my God, your hair is stupid, or, all these different criticisms. And then we put it on social media where other people join in and tell us all of the bad things about us as well. But, they're just strangers here. I'm talking more about the way that we talk to ourselves, and we wouldn't allow our best friend or our niece or our mother or our sister or anybody that's important in our lives to talk about themselves in that way. But yet we do it to ourselves all the time. And it really can have an impact on our psyche. It really can start to get into our head. We can really start to believe it. How many people do you know that are very thin and look perfect and have a great body, and they're constantly calling themselves fat, and they're saying, I can't have a cookie, I'm too fat to eat a cookie, or whatever. And you're like, you have no idea, you're beautiful, and they just don't believe it. And we're all really guilty of that, and it's kind of a sad thing in our society these days that we think about ourselves in this manner, and yet we would never let our best friend or anybody that's important in our life, like I mentioned, talk to themselves that way. So it really can have an effect on us. Not only can it have an effect on us, it can have an effect on those around us. So think about the people that hear us talk about ourselves in that manner. Think about the young people in your life, the people that are very impressionable. And if you're an aunt or a mother or an older sister or something, and you're constantly looking in the mirror and criticizing yourself, what does that tell them about how you feel about yourself? What does that tell them about how they should feel about you? Why are they going to invest, or why are they going to feel love for somebody who is such a loser? Right? And they may start to feel the same way about themselves, because they might say, hey, I really have respect and admiration for this person, but if they're a loser, gosh, maybe I'm a loser as well. And then it kind of is a negative has a negative effect, and it starts to roll downhill. So we need to start being a better example. Think of the young men in your life that are going to start dating soon and how they're going to treat their dates. We want our young men or young women or whoever is going out into the dating world to treat their partners with love and respect, and to build them up, and not to think it's okay to allow somebody to talk to themselves that way, or to talk to anybody that way. So we really need to start being a good example, not only for ourselves, but for anybody that's around us. And we need to, start setting a great example of just being a good, positive role model. We need to make ourselves our own best friend. And we need to do it starting today. And then we need to do it again tomorrow. And we need to do it again the next day. Let's make 2025 the year of no more negative self-talk. Let's make 2025 the year that we tell ourselves that we are our own best friend, and we are amazing, and we are beautiful, and we're perfect in every way. And maybe we don't believe it all the way, but it's a start. And it's better than the opposite. It's better than telling ourselves all of the horrible negative things about ourselves. So in my poem this week, the poem that I'm featuring is called Best Friend, and it's from my third book called Gather Seeds of Hope. And this poem has to do with, again, that negative self-talk, how we wouldn't allow our best friends to talk to themselves that way, as I've mentioned. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the poetry reading. Before I do that, I'm going to take a quick sip of tea here. Cold, wintry day. I hope it's nicer where you are. And again, I'm going to go ahead and get into this poetry reading. Again, poem is called Best Friend from Gather Seeds of Hope. Need to find that here. And here's the poem. I hope that you enjoy it. And by the way, if you don't have the time, or you don't want to stick around and listen to the video poetry reading, you can find a printed copy of this poem on my blog at thepracticalpoet.com/blog. And you would look for the poem called Best Friend. Sometimes we speak more harshly to ourselves than we intend. We should talk to ourselves the way we speak to our best friend. Would you tell your friend she's fat, or that she is no good? Would you tell her she is worthless? Of course you never would. Would you tell your friend she's ugly, or does not deserve nice things? Would you say she is responsible for any misfortune that life brings? Would you tell her she does not deserve to find happiness or joy? Of course you would not say that, or her spirit you'd destroy. Would you call your friend an idiot, or something even worse? Would you mention she's a failure the next time you converse? Of course you would not do that, because you don't believe it's true. You'd applaud all her great qualities and praise her through and through. You would reassure her worthiness, her successes you'd commend. So why don't we talk to ourselves the way we do our friend? We would never point out flaws in those we hold so dear. So why do we do that to ourselves when we look in the mirror? So that was a video poetry reading of Best Friend from Gather Seeds of Hope. And again, just talking about the way that we speak to ourselves. We would never allow our best friend to do that. Quite the opposite. We would, like I mentioned in the poem, tell her all of her great qualities, start listing them out, telling her how amazing she is, and she's your best friend, right? So she obviously has some wonderful and redeeming qualities, or you wouldn't be friends with her. And sometimes that's all people need to hear as well. So let's start being a good role model for not only the young people in our lives, or the people that we are impacting, but also for ourselves. We are our own best friend. We go through this life with ourselves. We are the only person that we are with from birth to death. And so let's start treating ourselves a little bit more kindly. We are with ourselves for a long time, and it only helps the world at large if we sing our praises, and that we have a good and positive outcome for ourselves, and that joy and that appreciation that we have for ourselves will just hopefully spread, and it will catch on, and it will grow. And let's make 2025 the year that we start. So thank you so much for listening to this video poetry reading. If you like this video poetry reading and you want to hear more, please hit the like and subscribe button. Head on over to my blog at thepracticalpoet.com to check out more poetry. And I hope that you stick with me and check out my channel. So have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Stay warm, and we'll chat soon. Thanks. Bye.